Okay, we'll let that one ride. Well, that's our news for this Wednesday. Dan Rather's next, followed by the 6 o'clock report with Clayton, Jim Giles, and Bill Tiggins. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. President Reagan is in New York tonight. He's here to help the UN kick off its 40th birthday bash, but more to kick off his own fall offensive in advance of his UN speech tomorrow and his meeting with the leader of the Soviet Union in November. CBS News live coverage of President Reagan's UN speech tomorrow morning begins shortly after 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Something can always be counted on to go wrong at a party, even, perhaps especially, the UN's, where everything supposedly has been planned right down to the last piece of pâté. Tonight's So What Could Go Wrong? West German Chancellor Helmut Kohl was in a crowd about to step out into the street outside the UN. Moments after these photographs were taken, Kohl was almost run over by a police car in President Reagan's motorcade. Kohl didn't see the last escort car, apparently, and had to be pulled back. U.S.-West German relations and Kohl are reported well and intact tonight. While part of President Reagan's stint in New York is aimed at showing a united Western front for his meeting with Soviet leader Gorbachev in Geneva next month, Gorbachev is busy doing the same on the Eastern Front. Gorbachev and other Warsaw Pact nation leaders ended their own 2 days of talks in Bulgaria. They approved and restated the Soviet version of arms controls proposals. The continuing Soviet military occupation of Afghanistan is now expected to figure prominently.
London.
The U.S. government today reported that for a 5th straight month, consumer prices in September rose a small 0.2%. That means inflation remains under control. As business correspondent Ray Brady explains, it also means only a modest increase in Social Security payments and a record maximum in your Social Security tax bite.
When the 37 million, while those getting Social Security may be unhappy about next year's checks, the low increase means inflation is still under control. In fact, if today's figure had been just a shade less, under 3%, then there would have been no Social Security increases at all. Ray Brady, CBS News, New York.
Round the world, through the heat and rain, yeah. Across the Alps and against the grain, yeah.
Wherever Buick Electra went in the world, it left behind new
CBS News, Washington.
Senate Republican leaders plan to pass a resolution tomorrow to delay President Reagan's proposed nearly $2 billion arms sale to Jordan until next March. That's unless Jordan and Israel begin direct peace talks before then. And late today, Capitol Hill sources said President Reagan now approves this approach. In Cairo, word that Egyptian President Mubarak meets tomorrow in Amman with Jordan's King Hussein. The two reportedly plan to discuss this week's offer by Israeli Prime Minister Peres for direct talks with Jordan. Doctors in Hershey, Pennsylvania today upgraded the in a stupor of unknown cause. He was in critical but stable condition today as the search continued for a human heart to replace the artificial implant. CBS and NBC today said that they will now air a revised version of a controversial public service ad, one that deals with the more than 3 million unintended pregnancies in the United States each year. The ad is aimed at teenagers especially. The original version, which the networks objected to, contained a line that said, and I quote, "Unintended pregnancies have greater risks than any of today's contraceptives." The new version doesn't mention contraception.
I intend to be president.
I intend to go back to school.
I intended to have a family, but not this soon.
Nothing changes any intention faster than an unintended pregnancy. There are many ways to prevent unintended pregnancies, and the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists wants you to have the facts.
While those ads put together by a doctors group don't mention contraception anymore, the pamphlets do, along with just saying no among several suggested ways of avoiding unwanted pregnancies. In Salt Lake City today, Mormon...
Another bran eater.
Yep.
Hope you're hungry.
Whoa.
Because it takes 4 bowls of all bran to get the vitamin nutrition in 1 bowl of Total.
He's been bran washed.
Total's a good
You may recall there was a lot of publicity when the Pentagon first showed off its replacement for the old metal pot helmet for the new Action Army. Tonight, the Pentagon reports that of the 761,000 new helmets out in the field for testing, including actual combat wear in Grenada, 461,000, more than half, are, according to the Pentagon, substandard. They cost $82 a copy, but they were not built the way the manufacturer, the Gentex Company of Pennsylvania, said it would build them. The Pentagon now says it is looking into possible fraud. Company officials could not be reached for comment tonight.
Just about any personal computer does a better day's work with the help.
Is one cough medicine right for all kinds of coughs? No.
CBS News, Miami.
And that's the CBS Evening News for this Wednesday. Dan Rather reporting from New York. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Basic securities. Follow a leader.
Good posture. You don't think about it and become porous and weak. But posture taken daily can help them stay.